All right. The art is comedy. And like any other art, it has rules, but the rules are pliable. In other words, mathematics is the tool of science. So 2 and 2 is 4, no matter what, no matter when, how you're feeling, no matter what. 2 plus 2 equals 4. But in the arts, it doesn't work like that. There's nothing that definite in the art. The art, there's some rules, but they're pliable. So, and also, the arts are subjective. In other words, let's say there's a painting on the wall. So you walk by and you say, boy, that's terrific. Somebody else walks by and says, that stinks. Somebody else walks by and says, well, it's not bad. It ought to be this way and ought to be that way. So there's different kinds of comedians. In the same way as there's different kinds of singers, there's different kinds of musicians, there's different kinds of painters. So one of the things that I taught Lenny Bruce is that you're not going to be the funniest comedian in the world. Nobody ever is. This is why when they tell you that in order to become a comedian, you have to learn to write jokes, that's wrong. It's going to take you 10 years before you learn how to write good jokes. And after you learn how to write good jokes, you don't even know if those jokes are good enough for you. Steal the best jokes that you can. Your sound, like a singer, is just as important for a comedian. Your appearance and your timing, that's what you learn. You are an actor. You are not a writer. Nothing is going to happen to you as a comedian until you get to do that 5 minutes, squeaky clean, killer material on television. Now let me tell you something about Woody. The character that you know as Woody is not the real Woody Allen, any more than Jack Benny was stingy or whatever. Woody is very smart. He's a good man. He's a decent man. He's a kind man. Pee Wee Herman is interesting in this case. Pee Wee Herman was born retarded with some terrible child affliction. One of those dystrophy types of things. Pee Wee Herman cannot button his shirt. Pee Wee Herman cannot tie his shoelaces. It's a very big thing that he can put on that clip-on bow tie. Now let me tell you something about this guy. When he's on television, little kids in hospitals that are afflicted see him and they recognize. You don't. He's one of us.
Mr. Scambini, did you know actually Lenny Bruce?
Yeah, I trained Lenny. Actually, what happened was his mother was a comedian, Sally Ma. I write to her, I send her a Christmas card, and she had the loveliest breasts in show business. God, she was somebody. This is Lenny's mother. And I went out and I saw her work, and she was a funny lady. She's a funny lady. And I said, you got to ride home? I'll stay and I'll drive you home. But she made arrangements with the kids in the show that she would commute, but I would drive her home. And we talked. And a funny lady. And then she did very well, and she went back to New York, and then periodically she would come up to Boston to work. So that's how